reconstructed durable, anti-reflux valve, re-establishing a natural barrier to reflux. Tip is surgery with
Hello, everyone. I want to confirm if you can read me. If you can, hear what I'm saying. Okay, I can see everyone's charts now. So we can go straight to the question and answer session. We can start asking any questions you want, and I will start answering them. So that's because that's what this session is for. Question and answers basically. If you have any questions, anything you want me to clarify about scholarship and studying in Sweden, you can just send a chat. There's a group chat for this ongoing on this app that you're using. Just send a chat and I'll answer the question. So Taking numbers, I don't know how that will work because there are still many people that can join because not everyone is as connected to the webinar right now. So that means we can have more people joining and asking questions. Maybe so. I think we should just shoot, just ask the question. No matter if it's asked many times, I don't mind. At least everyone gets to learn something. Okay. So at the moment, the master's application season in Sweden has closed. That's the autumn application round has closed. So and the scholarship is only awarded for the autumn application round. And the next autumn application round starts in October, and it will last till January next year. And usually the scholarship application follows after in February. So all you can do now is prepare, really prepare. Okay, I think I have one question here. How best can one respond to the questions on motivation letter? How best can one respond to questions on motivation letter? Okay, so I think the scholarship is really helpful because they give you what they want you to write about in the motivation letter for the scholarship. They give you questions to guide you on what they want you to know. So basically, it's really straightforward, and I would advise you shouldn't expect the same questions every year for the motivation letter because usually the questions change. So what you can do is, and what I can tell you for a fact is that you should provide as much details as possible when you're writing your motivation letter. You should provide as much details as possible. You shouldn't write, okay, I was I was in I'm trying to find a proper example, but when I mean proper details, I mean give details about the time of those experiences I've had in the past, like what timeline maybe you had this experience 2 years ago in 2018 or in 2017. So you provide a date, you provide the number of people you worked with in the project, provide the number of what the project was about, the number of people that were impacted, how much did you raise money, how many people were in your team. Those kind of details really gives a picture, really makes your profile application very unique to the scholarship selection committee. They tend to see that, okay, this is a very unique application. This is, it's different from, okay, I am a capable applicant, or I'm a hardworking applicant, or I've done a lot of work, I've been involved in a lot of experiences. It's different from, okay, in 2018, I was involved in a UN women empowerment program or an empowerment program in this rural place where 20 women, those kind of details will really help you in your application, in the questions or the motivation letter. All right, so, okay, so another question says, is it difficult to get a residence permit for Sweden, provided tuition fee has been made? It's very easy to get the residence permit. So far, you meet all the conditions in terms of that. If you win, there are two scenarios. If you win the scholarship, that's very easy for you. If you win the scholarship, all you have to present is to apply for the residence permit is your scholarship offer letter, your admission offer letter, and your passport. Yeah, submit online and straightforward. When I applied, they made a decision on my case in 10 days, like your application has been approved. I mean, it was straightforward. And if you're going to be sponsoring yourself, so far you've paid tuition fees, you've shown evidence that you have enough money in your account, and you submit your admission letter and then your passport. So far you meet all the requirements, it's quite very easy. And sometimes they can ask for an interview with you, that's if you're sponsoring yourself. You can ask for an interview, but it's not in all cases. If you win a scholarship, there's no interview for the residence permit application. So, okay. To avoid questions coming in at the same time, what do we do? And don't worry, just type in your questions. I'll see everything, even if it comes at the same time. 8,000 in Sweden is hectic. How best can we tackle it? Yeah, that's one pretty interesting situation in Sweden. It's the housing situation is quite hectic, as you said. It's true. Usually you have to get on a queue, on a queuing system to get an accommodation. And there are people that have been staying on a queue for a particular apartment for maybe 10 years. Like they've been on that queue to get that particular apartment. So it can be that serious. But sometimes, since you're an international student, your university can help you in getting accommodation. That's what happened in my case. My university, they had an agreement with a rental agency in Lincoln. So the rental agency actually allocated some. The rental agency allocated some apartments from for students of the university. So all we had to do was just to apply and straightforward. We didn't have to get on the queue for that, but that might not be the case for applying for. So the best thing I would say is once you are coming to Sweden, just get in touch with your university, and they should be able to help. Okay. The next question says, "Good day all. My question is in respect to transcript. Will we be required to send it before admission is given, or until admission given?" If you are applying for admission, you need to submit all the required documents before the application deadline. Transcript, degree certificate, maybe CV or motivation letter, all must be submitted before the deadline, application deadline. Then they will consider your application, and then they will decide to whether to give you admission or not. So submit all documents ahead of time, before the deadline. I submitted applications for the 2020 cycle. My first question is, do the clarity of the stamps, I submitted applications for the 2020 cycle. My question is, do the clarity of the stamps on the forms matter? Yes, of course. The stamp will be clear, at least. I mean, that's expected. So I don't know how clear your own stamps were, but at least they should be visible. They should be readable. The content should be readable. Another question says, please, how are our referees contacted, and will we be notified? One thing is, not all referees will be contacted, because I mean, more than thousands of people apply for the scholarship. So it's practically impossible for the scholarship, for the Swedish Institute to contact all referees. I mean, they just look at, maybe they just contact referees randomly. Maybe they look at your application, and maybe there's something that they need clarification on, or something that's confusing. They could contact your referee, but they won't be able to contact every referee. So that's how it is. And will you be notified if I'm not sure how that works. I'm not sure if you will be notified, but you can, be in constant communication with the referee to, find out if they've been contacted or anything. Someone says they can't hear me. Can you all hear me? Doesn't need to confirm that. Please, I want to find out if a person that has a postgraduate diploma certificate from Nigeria gets scholarship to study in Sweden or be admitted, though the person has HND and postgraduate. If you want to get admitted here, if you want to apply for master's in Sweden, you need a bachelor's degree. I don't think a PGD will be accepted. I don't think so, because if it was possible, they will have mentioned it, but they will have mentioned it on their university admissions website. But the only thing they want from you is a bachelor's degree, and if you also have an HND, yes, you can also submit the HND, but at least a bachelor's degree must be submitted. All right. Okay. Another question says, Gothenburg University, Linköping, Umeå, and Linnaeus are the schools I applied to. Really hope for the best on the 3rd of April. According to your best knowledge, which do you think it's easier to get into? Business majors? Well, it said business majors, so I think there should be very competitive master's programs, business majors. But I think you should be. In one of the lessons I sent, I talked about how to determine the least competitive master's programs. So I think if you go through that lesson very well, you should be able to determine which master's program is very competitive, which is not. All right. Then the next question says, since some courses and some schools are competitive, there's a chance for an architecture student. I'll still say the same thing, go through the the lesson 5 that I sent about these competitive master's programs. Go through them and see. And in that email, I explained how the steps you take, the website you check if you want to check which master's program is very competitive, which is not so competitive. So you should be able to do that. Another question says, is the scholarship still open for this academic window? No, it has closed. The next master's program opens in October. That's master's admission, and then the scholarship application usually follows after that, a few months after that. Another question says, I am more concerned with doing school. How do I settle down, get a job in school? If anyone is coming, this is my candid advice to anyone coming to study in Sweden. If you're coming to Sweden, you should either be coming on a scholarship, or if you have enough money for at least for the first year of studies. Enough money to take care of your expenses for the first month of studies, because it's very important, because it's expensive. Living in Sweden is expensive. And then getting a job could be quite difficult for a part-time job for a new student. But if you are to meet with local people in the local environment, to learn of any openings, maybe in a restaurant or any newspaper delivery or food delivery, then you can get a job. And then your university also can also assist if you contact them. Another question, I'm considering the University of Lund. How easy it is to get in there? Well, Lund University is number 1 university in Sweden. So of course, expectedly to be very competitive. A lot of people are applying there. But that does not mean that all their master's programs are very competitive. As I said, check my lesson 5 email to understand how to determine how competitive any master's program is. Another question, are there PhD scholarships? In Sweden, you don't need a scholarship for a PhD. I mean, for PhD in Sweden, PhD students are paid salaries every month, like normal university employees. So, and then PhD students don't pay tuition fees. So it's like you're working for the university as a researcher. So there's really no need for a scholarship to study for PhD in Sweden. All you have to do is just go to the university's vacancy page. They will announce, open PhD positions for you to apply for. That's all. What next after school? How do I settle down and eventually naturalize? Well, your chances. What next after school? Of course, either you get into a PhD program, or you get a job, or you start a business in Sweden. Now, Sweden is quite encouraging in that aspect. They give you 12 months stay after to be able to do all that after studying in Sweden. So and to get a job is not so difficult. I'm sure within the 12 months after studies that Sweden allows you to stay, you can get a job. It's very possible. Just meet with people, network with people, go to events. It's all about that. Apply for as many jobs as possible. All right. Another person says, I graduated with 2.2. Am I eligible for the Swedish scholarship? Well, for the Swedish Institute, they don't check your grades. They don't check any of your transcript. They don't check your academic documents. What they need from you is your work and leadership experience. You need to have at least 3,000 hours of work experience before you can apply for the scholarship. Now, the scholarship application is different from the admissions application. It's during the admissions application that your grades are needed. Whether you finish with 2.2 or 2.1 or first class, that's where it's needed. But it's possible to get admitted with 2.2, because I know someone who got admitted with 2.2 and also won the scholarship. So it's very possible. All right, you're eligible. All right, another person says, I learned you must be a high CGPA student to get into University of Lund. Could it be true? Yeah, well, not necessarily true, but of course, Lund University is quite competitive. A lot of people apply there. All right. Hello, sir, I can't hear you. Another says, when does the next window open? When does the next application begin? Well, next master's application starts in October, and the scholarship application usually follows after. Now, another person says, how do one get to know when a transcript submitted by his or university is accepted by university admissions? If you submit a transcript, that's well, you should see a notification if your transcript was sent by your university. You should see a notification in your online account on university admissions website that yes, on this particular day they receive the document from you. You receive a notification like that. Okay, someone says, also, which universities are the least applied to? I tried to research some, but I couldn't get something definite. At the same time, I would say check lesson 5 in my email course free email course that I sent earlier. You will find answers to that. In one of your emails, you are advisable with not so great undergraduate result to apply for a less. Please, how can we do this? As I was saying, check lesson 5. I provided details on how to determine the least competitive master programs. Can you aid in our motivation statement? I want to see how yours was saving. Well, unfortunately, I can't share my application documents with others because it's prohibited by the scholarship. I mean, of course, the scholarship doesn't expect scholarship holders or scholarship recipients to share the same documents, their application documents with others. It's unethical. I mean, it's even part of the conditions, terms and conditions we have to sign to when we're accepting the scholarship. So, fortunately, I can't do that. Please, can I get a recording for this live session? Yes, I'll do a recording. It's recording right now, and to be sent to everyone once we are done. All right. Okay, someone says the first prompt in his scholarship motivation letter was about awardees returning to their home countries after studies. Do they force awardees out upon completing their studies? No, they don't force awardees to leave Sweden. Of course, they are advised because the purpose of the scholarship is for people to come to Sweden and study in Sweden, then go back to their country. But there's no compulsion. There's nowhere where they say you must return. There's nowhere. Even when you're in the terms and conditions, it's not there. It's not a must. But they usually encourage people to go back to their countries of study. But so you can continue staying in Sweden if you want. On the reference letter, work and leadership experience forms, there is a provision for the referee to sign, write their location and date. Please, should the location to be done by the referee be handwritten or typed? Where it should be handwritten. Yeah, it should be handwritten. Okay. Can we get a link to the lesson about competitive master's program? I think I said to everyone, I'm sure if you are watching this, you should have received it in lesson 5. It's either you've received it already, check your inbox, I've sent it to you, your spam folder, lesson 5, how to select the right master's programs. Or if you have not yet reached there, I'll still send it to you if you have not gotten to lesson 5. So everyone should have it. How many days to resumption do you advise we leave for students? I learned that finding a job is difficult if speaking in Swedish. Yeah, it could be quite difficult. Swedish. Of course, a lot of Swedish people speak English. I mean, it's normal. They speak English very well. A large percentage of Swedish people. It's to the extent that but of course their local language, their native language is Swedish. That's a native language. And that's even their official language. And so they prefer to speak Swedish to English. And when you meet a Swedish person for the first time and you greet the person, the first words they will utter to you will be in Swedish. Is when you tell them, I don't yet speak Swedish, then they will switch to English. So they are much more comfortable in Swedish. So it's better if you want to get a job, part-time job, or even after your studies, to also learn Swedish. And the Swedish government has a program, free program for immigrants to learn Swedish. It's free. You can learn Swedish. All right. I've learned some Swedish in my university. My university had a program for that. So I've learned some level of Swedish. So it's not that. So if you learn Swedish, it will help you. But that's not saying it's impossible to get a job without Swedish. How many days to resumption do you advise we leave for Sweden? It depends on you really. I think as early as possible. So far you've secured accommodation where you can come to Sweden. So far you've secured accommodation, then you can come. Someone says, kindly restate the process for applying for a PhD vacancy in any school in Sweden. Okay, if you want to apply for a PhD in Sweden, just go to any university's website. Go to their vacancy section. They always have this vacancy section where they announce vacancies in the university. Maybe they are looking for a professor or other university staff. In that vacancy page, they also announce positions for PhD. Click on any of the PhD positions you want and apply. Yeah. All right. Another one says, when I contacted the faculty I wish to study, they said that CV, motivation letter, references were needed. Now, how do I prove my chance of getting into the University of Lund? I don't think you should be bothered if the program you applied for said they don't need any additional CV or motivation letter, reference letter. Maybe they will just judge. They'll just make your selections based on maybe your grades, maybe that. So you shouldn't be worried. I mean, if they say they don't need CV, motivation letter, reference, there's no need to submit. If you submit it, you're just wasting your time. They won't look at it because they provide a fair ground for all candidates. If they said they don't need CV, they won't judge, they won't make selections based on CVs. All right. I just finished my degree course while waiting for my certificate. How can I apply for the scholarship? Since you just finished your undergraduate program, I would advise that you wait and get some work experience, maybe some volunteering experience because before you can apply for the scholarship, you will need at least 3,000 hours of work experience. Yeah. Another says, how do I prove that I have 3,000 hours of work done? Is there a way to submit an evidence, say a letter of employment? Or if you're applying for the scholarship will give you forms. They will ask you to download forms from their website to give your referees to fill and sign and stamp. So those forms are called proof of work and leadership experience. All right. So you just download it, give it to your referee to fill, and they sign and stamp. Can one apply from China? Yeah, you can. You can apply from China. It's possible. Very well. All right. On the SI website, they made mention of having a strong and relevant professional background. Honestly, I don't understand this part. I'm a secondary school teacher teaching chemistry, and I studied chemistry too. Please elaborate. Okay. What you're saying is you're more likely to win a scholarship if your work experience is related to your intended master studies. All right. Now you say you're teaching chemistry, and if you intend to study a master's program that is related to chemistry, you can still get a scholarship. All right. So it's very possible. How do I get the forms for filling my leadership work experiences so that I can fill out the forms in advance? Must I travel to my past work placement to get them to sign mine? All right. So you're asking about how to get the document templates for the scholarship. One thing you should note is the scholarship provides new templates every year. New. So that means you can't use templates for the last application to apply for the next application. So you just have to wait till when they release the template for the upcoming application. So that's how it works. So you can't fill it in advance now. Maybe by later this year, maybe by December, the scholarship will most likely provide the document template for maybe the reference letter, the proof of work and leadership experiences, where you can download and give your referees to fill for the application, for the scholarship application that would likely come up in February. So you can't use that. You can't start filling now. So you just have to wait. Be patient. Please, can you rank the university which are completely from the top to the lowest? From the top to the lowest. I think you can use okay, I hope you're all seeing my screen now. So you can use can just go to Google. Google search for QS ranking of universities 2020. You filter out Sweden. Okay, so you just fit our Sweden and then you see the top universities in Sweden. Number one is Lund, number two is KTH. All right, so number one is Lund, number two is KTH, Uppsala, Chalmers, Stockholm University, then University of Gothenburg, Linköping, then Umeå. So that's how you get the top universities in Sweden. Okay, someone says, if one has visited Sweden before on a tourist visa, does it boost one's chances of getting the residence permit? Well, it should. If you have been on a tourist visa before and then you left before the expiration of your visa, it should. But getting a residence permit is quite easy, very easy. So far you meet all the requirements, you get it. I mean, it's very, very easy. Okay, someone says I've already received lesson one. Oh, don't worry, you will receive the if you only receive lesson one, don't worry, you receive the other lessons too. Just be patient. Is it possible they waive application fee? Unfortunately, it's not possible to waive the application fee. It's compulsory for you if you're applying, if you're a student applying from outside the European Union. That's for admissions. The scholarship application has no application fee. The application fee for admissions is compulsory for every non-EU applicant. Okay. Okay, another person says, between UK and Sweden, which one has a stronger academic profile? I'll say it's the UK. The UK has much more top-ranked universities, of course. But of course, Sweden also has a very highly rated higher education system. So, I mean, it's okay to come to any of the countries. Is the Swedish scholarship not a fully funded scholarship? Why do we need to secure accommodation in Sweden? It's a fully funded scholarship. It doesn't mean they will be the ones to secure accommodation for you. Now, they will pay you monthly allowances enough to cover all your monthly expenses, including cost of accommodation. When I say secure accommodation, I mean to get a place to stay. I mean, it's a different thing to get a place to stay and then to have the money to pay for the place. The scholarship will pay you enough money to be able to pay for the place. But to secure the place is the issue. That's why you need to contact universities. All right, it's a fully funded scholarship, full tuition fees, monthly allowances enough to cover all your expenses, food, accommodation, anything. All right, so it's full. How many days does this 3,000 hours of work experience? Okay, someone says, how many days does the 3,000 hours of work experience translate to? 3,000 hours of work experience actually translates to about 1.5 years of working for 8 hours per day. Now, if you calculate, if you've been working for 8 hours per day for at least 1.5 years, then you should have at least 3,000 hours of work experience. Okay, someone says Swedish scholarship and traveling, which is more generous and popular? Of course, traveling is more popular. More people apply for traveling, I believe. But both scholarships, Swedish scholarship and traveling, they offer similar benefits: full tuition fees, monthly allowances, travel grants. So they are just same, both generous. Someone says, what do you think about applying for a course that is not related to your bachelor study or related to your work experience? Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. You can apply for a master's program that is related to your work experience. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can. But okay, I get it. Now, if you want to apply for admissions, Of course, some universities can ask you, you need to have taken this particular course, your bachelor's degree, for you to qualify to apply for this master's program. So if you know you meet those requirements, the universities you are applying for have those requirements and you meet them, then you are okay. So someone says, when I get admission to university, what are my chances of winning the scholarship? Well, if you get admission, it just means your chances of winning the scholarship has increased, because of course for you to win the scholarship you should have gotten admitted. Right? So getting admitted increases your chance of winning the scholarship. All right. I hope you can hear my voice. In applying for admission, please, what are the step-by-step procedures from the first to the last? If you're applying for admissions, the 5-day email course really narrates how to do that. So if you want to get there, let me show you. This is the website you go. You go to the university admissions website, universityadmissions.sc. Just type in that website. Go through that. Let me show you. Go to the university admissions website. Click on find out more. Then application process. As you can see, there's a link for application process which shows the application process from the beginning to the end. So you can see here it shows everything from the top to the bottom. It shows you what you need to do, step-by-step process, application procedures, and everything. So you can also go through the courses, the emails are sent in the email course to also find out how to do that, step-by-step procedure. Okay, someone says, I graduated recently from Unilag with a grade of second class level. I studied building specifically and would like to know more about this scholarship. I don't know. If you want to know about scholarship, I think you should have signed up to my email course. Just go to, I don't know, I think you should have signed up for you to receive this email, but just go to Scholars.Africa/Sweden. Type in that and you'll get connected. And then sign up with your email address and log in, and then you receive you know more about the scholarship. Also, you can visit the scholarship website. Let me see. You can send me a private message and I'll show you where to apply for the scholarship website. Let me see if I can show you the website. Just go to si.sc, you'll find more about scholarship. So this is the scholarship website, Swedish Scholarship for Local Professionals. So you can find out anything you want to know about the scholarship on here. I will record this video is being recorded, so you can just go up. Okay, let me see if I can just send the link, copy and paste the link there. All right, so scholarship website. If someone says, can a Nigerian temporarily stay in another country apply for the scholarship as a Nigerian? Yes, you can. Of course, you can apply. Even if you're staying anywhere in the world, you can apply. But if you've been staying in Sweden for at least 2 years, if you've been in Sweden for at least 2 years, you can apply for the scholarship. For any other place, you can apply. What if I acquired 4,000? Someone says, what if I acquired 4,000 hours of work experience just in 1 year? What if in addition to my full-time job, I have other part-time jobs, such that in 1 year I acquired over 4,000 hours of work experience? Any limit to how many hours of work experience per year? There's no limit to how you calculate your work number of hours of work experience. So far, you can provide documented evidence from your referees, like your referees sign those forms, sign and stamp those forms to certify that you've worked for 4,000 hours in total. It's okay. All right. So someone says, when does admission notification start dropping? I mean, they provided a date. If you check the university admissions website and the scholarship website, it said they provided a date, a timeline that results will start to be coming out. Okay, let me see. Can I show you that? All right, so you can see it here. They said by the 3rd of April 2020, 3rd of April, the results of your application for admissions will be released. And then on the 24th of April, the results of the scholarship application will be released. All right, so that's how it works. All right. Someone says, like, how many schools does this application fee cover? Okay, so the application fee is 900 Swedish crowns. It's about $98. And it covers 4 selections, 4 choices of master's programs in the same university or different universities, whichever you want. So in Sweden, you can apply for a maximum of 4 different master's programs at the same time. And you don't have to pay 900 Swedish crowns for each one. Just pay 900 Swedish crowns, just pay $90 once, and it covers 4 choices of master's programs. Okay, someone says, please shed some light on the Swedish candidate examen. That's just like the Swedish bachelor's program. So they are just saying that your whatever qualification you are presenting should be equivalent to a Swedish, should be a bachelor's degree. All right, that's what they're saying in essence. Whatever qualification you are presenting should be a bachelor's degree. Should be at least a bachelor's degree. Please, how do I send my reference letter to my referee? Okay. If you go to the scholarship website, they usually provide documents for you to download. All you have to do is just download it. Maybe you send it by soft copy to your referee, or you print it. No, you download it, send it by soft copy to your referee to fill on the computer, and then it prints, and then they sign and stamp. All right. Okay. Do they have scholarship for PhD? As I said earlier, there's no scholarship for PhD. Because, well, it's not needed in Sweden. In Sweden, PhD students don't pay tuition fees, and they are paid normal salaries as normal university students. Normal university arts. All right. Someone says, I have acquired more than 3,000 hours of work experience because I did a part-time program during my university and I'm still working even after I graduated. All right, okay. Yeah, that's okay, that's okay. You can present that also. So far the work experience was maybe doing, so far the work experience was doing, either during um, your degree program or after it. It shouldn't be before, you shouldn't present some work experience that was before your bachelor's degree. Someone says, sorry, I didn't get the answer to this question. When I contacted the faculty I wish to study, they said that CV motivation letter references were not needed. Now, how do I improve my chances of getting admitted to the University of London? Getting admitted to these universities is quite very straightforward, very easy. On the sites, they tell you what they need from you, the requirements. Your job is to look at those requirements, and if you determine that, okay, I think I meet all these requirements, I think I can supply them this document, I think I can give them this document, then you can apply. And usually, if you meet all those requirements, you should be qualified for that master's program, but that doesn't necessarily mean admitted. Now, if they say they don't need any CV or motivation letter or references from you, I don't think there's anything else you can do other than present your normal documents. I guess what they will check are your grades. Maybe you finish first class, second class, lower, and then they will check your grades for each course. Maybe they ask that in your bachelor studies you are taking engineering mathematics, and then they will check your grades for engineering mathematics, and then they will make they start giving you points based on your grades in engineering mathematics, something like that. So if they say they don't need any other additional documents, most likely they are making their judgments based on your grades in different courses. So I don't think there's anything else you can do about that. Someone says, can I present my CWES, which is like internship, and NYSC, which is a 1-year work experience, alongside some of post NYSC work as my total work experience? Yes, you can do that. So far in all, you have at least 3,000 hours of work experience. It's okay. Someone says, what if the work experience I got before my bachelor's what if the work experience I got during my bachelor's is relevant to my field of study? Okay, this is what I said. You shouldn't present a work experience that you gained after you finished high school. That's what I mean. Like before you got admission for your bachelor's degree. Don't present any work experience you got before you got admission into university. Only present work experiences that you got while you were in university or after you finished university. Yeah, so you can present that. Someone says, when you have unqualified in your course after you have met all requirements, both general and specific, please, how do one explain it? Now, if you have unqualified, it means you don't meet one requirement. It's either maybe you didn't submit maybe a transcript, you didn't submit your degree certificate, or you didn't meet maybe they ask for 30 ECTS credits in mathematics, and maybe you don't have that. So they don't just say you are unqualified for a master's program. Then you are unqualified because you don't meet maybe one requirement. I think you should check again the reason why. They must have given a reason why you don't meet that requirement, and I think you should check again. All right, someone says, please, is it every university in Sweden offering scholarship? Well, one, the Swedish scholarship is not, the Swedish Institute is different from university admissions, it's different from the universities in Sweden. So the Swedish Institute is a Swedish government agency. They allot scholarships for a specific number of master's programs in different universities. So it's not all master's programs that are eligible for that Swedish Institute scholarship. They just say, okay, this master's program in this university is eligible for the scholarship. So you just need to apply for that master's program. But also most universities also have their own scholarship programs. Most universities do, so you can apply for them also. Number two says that I have 4.52 in my master level at University of Lagos. My BSc is 3.42. Can I include both results during my application for scholarship and admission? I have more than 5 years experience. Uh, well, the fact is your bachelor's degree is enough. Uh, the bachelor's degree is enough to get admitted. They don't need for the scholarship. They don't need your BSc grades, BSc degree or transcript. They don't need for the scholarship. For the admission, all they need is your BSc, and you can get admitted with your 3.2, 3.42. But based on discretion of the university, I think you can also submit your masters uh, for masters for the admissions. For the masters, you can also submit your masters. I think you can. But I think you should contact the university to confirm. You can do that. Okay. Someone says will late application be considered for the scholarship? No, 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 no. Late application will not be considered for the scholarship. If you couldn't apply within the normal application period for admissions, forget it. You need to wait till the next application period. Okay, another person says if loan does not require CV, references, etc., but requires only the transcripts, this suggests that CGPA must have been the prioritized criteria. In this case, can a tutor candidate try his luck? Yes, you can try your luck, but nobody. It's not guaranteed. You can try your luck. Someone says, I am Obolaji. Can I still apply for master's program? Well, the application period has closed at the moment. The next master's application opens in October, so that's when you can apply. All right. Yeah, the next master's program starts in October. Yeah. Someone says, if I present the work experience I got during my industrial training, is it acceptable? Yes, it is acceptable. And then it says, please, does the age have to do with admission? No, age is not a limitation. There's no age requirements. So don't worry about age. When will the university admission come up this year in October? What if the reason for unqualified is not stated? The reason for unqualified will be stated. I mean, just check it. It will be stated. I'm sure it's stated. It's stated for everyone. They'll tell you, just click on that master's program they say don't qualify for. Just click on more, maybe a drop down or menu to explain what you miss. All right. Assuming you have an experience doing your NYSC, but it happened that you study microbiology, your work experience is teaching. Can you state it in your application? Yeah, there's a way you can do that. You can present it as volunteering, but it's not necessary that your volunteering experience is in the same line as your bachelor study or intended master study. So you can present, okay, you can say that, okay, you were teaching, you can present it as volunteering. So you were volunteering as a teacher in this rural school. You know, this rural, these students, these village students don't have a biology teacher, so you wanted to volunteer, right? So you can present it like that, all right? Someone says, is it a problem that my application is still in progress till now? No, it's not a problem. It doesn't mean there's any problem. It just means they're still checking. They are checking a lot of applications, so there's nothing wrong. Someone says, if you are given admission but couldn't get a scholarship, can you defer the admission for the next round or next year of the scholarship application? Now, for the scholarship, if you can't defer the admission, you can't get the scholarship for deferred admission. But for the university, each university, I'm not sure if you can. Maybe you need to contact each university to know if you can defer the admission to the next year. But the fact is, you can't win a scholarship for deferred admission. All right. Okay, someone says the master's degree that I've chosen to study is only offered by loan. But my undergraduate is 222. Being that loan admission is fiercely competitive, what do you suggest I do? I would advise to apply to other universities. I'm sure Lund is not the only university offering that course. It doesn't have to carry the exact name. The course doesn't have to carry the exact name that you want. Check other universities. Maybe they have different names for that same master's program. Just check. Lund is very competitive. So, I mean, don't put all your hopes on one university. Someone says, if the work experience I have comes from my own personal business, will it be accepted? Yeah, sure. If you've been an entrepreneur, you started your company, you have a company, you can present that work experience, of course. But someone says, I combined studies with work during my bachelor's degree because I run a part-time, which means I already have more than 3,000 hours of work experience. I hope I'm still eligible because I did a part-time program. Yeah, sure, you can present that work experience. You can. All right. Another person says, you just said that late application is not available for scholarship. But what of a situation where university admission were responsible for not getting our documents on time to be verified on the portal? Because I sent in my application on time, but they didn't get my documents before the deadline day for which was delivered on time, and they sent a message that my application is still on time. But this question is quite complicated. I think the issue is with university admissions. You should just contact them. The fact is, if university admission says your application was late, you can't get a scholarship for that. That's the protocol. That's the procedure. So I don't know. The fact is, even if you submitted your transcript, I believe you studied in Nigeria, if you submitted your transcript on time, they still have to verify with your university. They still have to, they will, after your university has sent your transcript, they still send an email to your university to verify that transcript. So all the issue about late application may be between your university and university admissions, and but the fact is you can't get a scholarship for late application. Someone says, in a situation where one did national diploma and secured admission via direct entry to university, is it necessary to include in ND certificate on 10, and will the ND transcript be required to be sent along with bachelor's transcript? Yes. If you used your national diploma to get admitted to your bachelor's program, that means you should submit the ND along with the bachelor's when you're applying for admissions. You should. Someone says, can I present a volunteer work experience or a work experience, and can I change 900 switch crowns to Naira? What is the assurance probability that one to be selected? Nobody's guaranteed the admission beforehand. So everyone is taking a risk. If you are paying the application fee, everyone is taking a risk. And your ability to, your getting admission depends on how prepared you are. I mean, when I was applying, the first day the application opened, that was the day I paid my application fee. I mean, I didn't care. I didn't care if I was going to lose the application fee. I was very well prepared. I didn't want to miss this. I mean, I was already following up with my university in Nigeria to send my transcript ahead of time. I mean, I was very prepared, and that's the least you can do. If you can get prepared as much as possible, your chances of getting admitted will be increased. So yes, your volunteer work experience as work experience, you can do that. Someone says, how is school awarded selected? Is it randomly or what? I don't get that question. Maybe you can type it again. That's Ransford Sakuri. Maybe you can type that question again. How is the school awarded selected? I didn't get that. Someone says, do they process the application on a first come, first serve basis, or do they process them at the same time? Okay, when the admissions application starts, I will advise you to submit all your documents as early as possible and pay your application fee as early as possible, because that will help them to start processing your application. Because without paying, if you wait till because when they start processing the application, that's when they start looking at your documents and they will tell you, okay, this document is missing, submit it. All right, and you won't start looking at your application if you have not paid the application fee. So if you wait till the deadline to pay your application fee, that means you won't know if there's anything is wrong with the application until the deadline. And maybe after the deadline, you can't do anything else. So it's very good to pay application fee as early as possible, so that you submit your documents, they start looking at your documents, tell you which one is missing, which one you should submit, and then you can start working on that as early as possible. All right? Okay, what is your take on selecting a potential university? If you want to select a potential university, I think you just look at, especially if you're also applying for the SI scholarship, you should look at if that master's program of that university is eligible for scholarship. Then you should also look at your probability, your chances of getting admitted to that university. So you just need to look at the statistic admission rates in previous years, which are already provided in lesson 5 of my course. I Mobology, what is the lowest CGPA that one can apply for master? Can the lowest CGPA in 2 also apply? Yes, you can apply. Even if you finish with pass, third class, you can apply for admission. I was in contact with someone that said they pass, and the person said they got admitted. Pass, yes. So most likely the person applied for a course that maybe the course had 30 places, 30 spots, 30 admission spots, and the number of people that applied were not up to that. And so far, the person met the requirement in terms of their courses and submitted all the required documents. The person got it. So whatever grade you finished with, apply for admissions. But you apply wisdom in selecting the master's program. All right, we will soon be finishing the session soon. All right, so it's better that I say that. Okay, so someone says, if I choose Lund as my first choice, another universities as second, third, or fourth choices respectively, won't other universities reject me them as my first choice? No, it doesn't work like that. They won't reject you. You choose them as your second, third, or fourth choice. They won't. No. I mean, that's even the idea behind choosing 4 courses, having 4 choices. Because if the first one doesn't admit you, the second one will consider your application, and if you meet their requirements and you are qualified, they can admit you. So that's the way it is. So someone says, how soon should one send in his or her documents for the next application round to avoid late documentation from one's university? Okay. I think for Nigerian applicants, candidates that studied in Nigeria, where you have to submit where your transcript has to be submitted directly by your university. I think what you can do is, I think you can tell your university to send your transcript ahead of time. Maybe now you can tell them. But you have to just make sure that you create an account on your university admissions website. Just make sure you create an account on the university admissions website before asking your university to send the transcript. I think you can do that. All right, you can have your transcript sent ahead of time. Someone says, how much is the application fee when converted to Nigerian naira? I think about 35,000 naira, 32, 35,000 naira, depending on exchange rates. Okay, I mean, how does the SI grant scholarship to admitted students? Is it by a random selection or what means? It's not by random selection. They look at the documents you submitted for the scholarship application. You submit your work experience, your leadership experience, your CV, your motivation letter. So they look. So they look at all those documents to know who to give the scholarship to. So it's not something about. It's not random. They look at every application. Okay, you said someone says that pharmaceutical technology, discovery, development, and production is not offered by any other university. All right, but this is in the pharmaceutical industry. I'm sure if you check other universities, you find something related to pharmaceuticals. All right, so it's really it doesn't have to necessarily have the name pharmaceutical technology, discovery, development, and production. It can be any other name, pharmaceuticology, maybe pharmacology, pharmaceutical science, pharmacy. It doesn't have to be up to carry that name. All right, I think you should check other universities. All right. So someone says, is it compulsory your first degree should correlate with the master's program? Well, it's not compulsory, but when you are getting admitted, most universities will ask you we ask you to that one of the requirements may be that okay, you should have taken some courses in your bachelor's that are related to your master's program. Most master's programs are like that. I mean, you can't have a bachelor's degree in journalism and then hope to apply for a master's program in mechanical engineering. It doesn't work like that, of course. So most programs usually ask that you should have taken some courses in your bachelor before you can apply for the master's program. Okay, so someone says, I applied on time and sent my transcript on time. While they were checking, I got unqualified for 3 out of the 4 courses. And the reason was because they couldn't get my transcript for which they had been delivered before the deadline date. Okay, one thing is the fact that you have unqualified now does not mean it can't change. Now you said that maybe they checked your application then and they saw that your transcript was not available. Maybe that's why they add unqualified. Or maybe later they can go through the application again and then they will see the transcripts and then it can change to qualified. So don't be bothered. So far you submitted the transcript on time. All right. So don't be bothered. It can change. All right. Okay. So okay, you said I sent them emails to confirm receipt of my transcript, for which they later replied after 4 mails. I sent my tracking number, and after they got the transcripts, the deadline date had passed, and I had to change the courses. They later made me say my application was still on time, even though it was after the deadline date. Am I still qualified for application for the scholarship? Now, if they said if the university admission says your application was still on time, then it's okay for you. Yeah, you can still get the scholarship. Someone says that doesn't mean that once transcript has to be verified once it has been uploaded by university admission. Now, the verification of a transcript is, I think, it only applies to candidates who studied in Nigeria, who their transcript has to be sent directly by the universities, and so that's it's the way it works. Candidates who studied in Nigeria, after their university sent the transcript, the university admissions will still have to verify that transcript. So for Ghanaian candidates, I don't think it's like that. So if you upload your transcript yourself, so that's if you studied in Ghana, you don't have any issues. All right. How do I determine how many slots a particular university has for admission? Well, some of them say mention it on their websites. They tell you, okay, number of spots available, maybe 30, 50, but not all of them do that, just some. Someone says, is it possible to get admissions offers by the 4 universities? No, it's not possible. You can only get admitted into one. So the first university, your first choice considers you, and if you get admitted, if you get admitted for that first choice, the other three are deleted. Like if you're not admitted for the first choice, the second one considers you, and if they are admitted, the other three choices are deleted. So that's the way it works. What is the chance of getting scholarship to those issued admission? Well, if you get admitted, your chances of getting a scholarship has increased. So, but it doesn't definitely mean you are again going to get a scholarship if you get admitted. But getting admission is like a step forward. It means yes, you are one step away. All right. Someone says I created an account for the 2020 autumn application, but cancelled my application because I couldn't meet up with requirements and deadlines. Do I need to create another account for the 2021 application round, or the previous account and ID details are still valid? Yeah, the previous account details, your email and login details are still valid. They are still valid. You can still use the account to apply in the next round. All right, so I think we've come to the end of this session. It's not been easy talking for more than 1 hour. So it's like 1 hour for 5 minutes. It's not easy. Let me take this last question. During my research on some of the course I came across 180 credit hours as a requirement for a degree certificate, but my degree is for 142 credit hours. My question is, can I still apply for a master's program, or do I have seen this? See, in Sweden, 60 credits stands for 1 year, 1 academic year. So 180 credit hours stands for 3 academic years. So if you have done a bachelor's program, a bachelor's degree that lasted for at least 3 years, you are qualified to apply. Okay? You are qualified to apply. So I don't know where you got your number 142 credit hours from, but the fact is, if you have a bachelor's degree, you are qualified to apply for it. Yeah. So, and then someone says, what's the chances for someone who's married, and is there any plan for dependents? Yeah. You can bring your family along with you when you're coming to study in Sweden. But the fact is, scholarship only pays for the scholarship winner. They don't pay allowances for the other family members. They only pay for the scholarship winner. So all you have to do is just present your bank statement when you're applying for residence permit. Show your bank statement that you have enough money to cover for the expenses of your dependents. And if you're able to do that satisfactorily, your dependents can also get a residence permit. All right, our next meeting will be at the end of next month. That's March, at the end of March, last Saturday. So that will be our next meeting. All right. You said, someone says, you said in your email that you are happier in Sweden that you would be had you got scholarship elsewhere. Would you prefer student studies through student scholarship to UK through Germany? When I was preparing to apply for studies abroad, I looked at the UK, I looked at most countries, South Korea, Singapore. I looked at all those countries, but I settled on the Swedish scholarship because the scholarship is quite generous, and then living in Sweden is one of the best experiences. In terms of family life in Sweden is one of the best in the world. I mean, there's free healthcare, same healthcare that a normal Swedish citizen is entitled to. You can access it. Pay little or nothing to access that same healthcare. I mean, and then the work-life balance in Sweden is better than in UK. I can say that satisfactorily. The work-life balance in Sweden is better than in the UK and the US. I mean, I looked at all those life indices, all those social benefits and all, and I settled on Sweden. That's why I said it's Sweden. And even if you checked statistics, check rankings, look at the top 10 happiest places in, you'll find Scandinavia topping the list. Norway, Denmark, Sweden, Finland. I know all those countries are. Scandinavia is a place to be, actually. The ECTS means what? It's European Credit Transfer System. I guess that's what it means. Yeah, it means European Credit Transfer and Accommodation System. Yes, you can bring your spouse to Sweden to study with you. So far, you can prove that your spouse has enough money in their bank account to fund their stay in Sweden. What's the possibilities of finding jobs in Sweden after school? As I said earlier, once you finish studying in Sweden, Sweden allows you to stay in Sweden for 12 months for the purpose. There is a special residence permit. It's for the purpose of seeking for a job or starting a business. So I'm sure within those 12 months, you can get a PhD or start a business or get a job. It's very possible. 12 months, if you do the right things, go meet with people, network with people, apply to hundreds of jobs, especially meeting with people. If you can do all the right things, you can get a job. Okay, someone says, if my spouse comes with me, can she be able to get a job with a visa given to her? Yes. The residence permit given to your spouse permits them to also get a job to work in Sweden. That's either if you're coming on a residence permit for studies, your spouse, the residence permit that your spouse will receive also allows them to study, to get a job, not study, get a job. All right. So yeah, it works like that. So, all right, guys, thank you so much for joining this week. So this is the end of this session, and it's been a good experience. So I can answer any more questions now. All right, so I think you can. So can I still apply for admission? Application have closed at the moment, so you just have to wait till October for the next application to start. Yeah, you can bring your spouse to Sweden. I think I've answered that already. All right. Is it possible to transfer to PhD at the same university after your master's? Is it possible to transfer to PhD at the same university? Yeah, it's possible. It's even easier if you study for master in a particular university. It's easier than for other candidates who study in other universities for you to get a PhD in that same university. All you have to do is meet with your professors. It's very important because getting a PhD place is by knowing your professors and them telling you and them relating with them and letting them know about your research interest and them talking to you about different research topics and all. So it's all about networking with your professors. So yeah. So thank you. Innocent, thank you so much. Thank you guys. Okay, so I'll see you next month, last Saturday of next month. See you. Bye.